Hey everyone, it's Lizzie. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about the month of October and how well I did in areas, and also how we kind of overspent on some areas because we didn't plan for these particular events. So if you guys are interested in seeing how I balance out my budget at the end of the month, then keep on watching. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you my screen because I have to show you these numbers on every dollar. That is the app that I use all the time. It's a website that I use and it's free. And this is kind of how I balance out my budget. So I'm gonna show you right now what my screen looks like so that you guys can kind of follow along how I get my numbers. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is go on to the Every Dollar budgeting app, and this is for the month of October. It already tells me here that I have budgeted every dollar at the beginning of the month. And now this is where I plug in all of my numbers. So if I were to click here, these on the right hand side, these are all of the transactions. So this is all of the paydays that my husband received. And then these are mine. So I list here all of the random income that I receive, and then my regular payments, and then also what any extra. So here I have YouTube here. So it calculates everything that I have received and it totals it for me. So it really allows me to visually see on here and also on my app what I have overspent, what is remaining. And it also shows me in red kind of what I need to adjust in the future. So this is kind of what I do besides. This is my expense tracker. So I know there are a lot of people who have a separate expense tracker. This is what I use. This is very easy for me to just pull up on my phone and for my husband to take a look as well. So as you can see here, this shows to me that I have put a lot more in the car fund this month, which is a plus. I added $744 in this car fund. And then over here, it shows me what I have remaining. So these are the fixed expenses that I have, and these are the variable. So I overspent on my husband's gas here. I didn't spend this amount here, the $6. SunPass, I went way over. So this is what I'm going to be looking at when I am showing you guys my budget on paper. And now let me go ahead and show you what my sinking funds looks like. I really just put in here the amount of money that I withdrew. So as you can see here, car maintenance, I didn't put as much as I wanted to in car maintenance because I had other things that I needed to do. For Christmas, we decided that we were not going to complete the budgeted amount. We were going to stop adding funds to Christmas on that video that I shared with you. And then here we tried the same thing, not budgeting out for eating out as much. And now we get to pet. This here, as you can see, we overspent by $199. And this is because we had to schedule vet appointments for our two dogs, and I did not even realize what it would cost. So one of my dogs, she was not feeling well, and we had to have her examined, and we got some antibiotics for her. So that was one vet visit. And then the other one was a vet appointment that we had to schedule. So those kind of things add up along with all of their food. And I really just did not plan for this. I did not do a good job, but luckily the income that we received allowed us not to be negative in our total expenses. So I'm going to go ahead and show you on paper now how this looks like, and me actually putting all of these numbers in my planner. Okay, so now it's all about plugging in the numbers on my budget worksheet here based on my every dollar budget. So the first line is my husband's income. And I'm gonna mark these in red because it is more than what we expected. So let me zoom in so you can see better. So the budgeted amount, you always want to budget a little bit less for making out your estimated budget for the month. So I estimated less here, but the actual amount that he received was $3,309.03. Oop, I made that too big, but the total difference was 3303 minus 3090. So $219.03 is what he made more. And then mine, I budgeted $20.50, but the actual amount I received was $3,019.21. So $3,019.21 minus $20.50. $969.21 is what was over. So I'm going to go ahead and add up the two. Okay, so our actual income that we received was $6,328.24. So the difference was quite a bit. So we were over in our budget, meaning we received more by $1,188, which is absolutely amazing. We are like, all of the glory goes to the Lord for providing for us. And so now we're going to go down to our giving. So this is a recurring amount that I give for what we call our offering. Now we do other offerings as well throughout the years, but for this month it was just the actual amount down here, which was 20, so that there's no difference there. So being that we did receive more income, we have to figure that out for our tithe. The tithe is not actually like 10% of this, so that's something that I have to figure out. So the total amount that I spent was $580 for the tithe, and I do think that I just factored in what the pay was from our employers, not that extra income that I had received from other things that was a side thing. So this totals to $600. And let's figure out what the difference was. I want to say this was 66. Yep. So over by $66 for the giving portion. And now let's go through all of these expenses. Most of these are fixed expenses, so I'm going to write them in black. So our mortgage, that never changes as of right now. HOA, we did set aside $34. The water bill, this did change. Let me go and find that. So the actual amount of the water bill ended up being $82.40. So it was off by $2.40. The electric bill, though, that was less. So that's going to be written in blue. The amount that came out on the bill was $110.84. So taking the 130 minus 110.84, $19.16 is what we saved. Phone bill, that's a fixed expense, so that doesn't change. And same goes for all of these. All right, going to gas, I have to add this up because on every dollar I have our gas line separated by my husband and me. So the total amount that my husband spent was $207.75. And the amount of gas that I put in was $93.78. So the total gas that we spent altogether was over by just a little bit. So $301.53. So we were over by $153. So that's a pretty good budget, I have to say. Being off by $1, that's not a headache for me. This is a fixed expense, $266.50. SunPass. SunPass, we did receive a random bill for both of our vehicles through another toll system called ePass. We always load money on our SunPass account, but for some reason, for like a month, it was not taking the tolls, and we got a bill that I had not planned on because I thought I was just loading money on my SunPass account and it was going to cover everything. So this was high, and I put it under SunPass, even though it was ePass that we got charged this extra money. So the total amount that we spent for tolls was $138.48. Which was so frustrating for me. I was very upset, but we had to tweak a few things in our budget when the weeks went by. So the total amount that was over was $43.48. Disney, this is our annual pass, so that is a fixed expense for us. Same thing with, this P.O. Box. Let me correct this. I actually paid this out of my business account, so this is actually $0. So I didn't spend anything there. Spotify, that is a fixed expense. Oh, this is gonna bother me. Let me white that out. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna do it in blue. It's 0. Okay. Much better. So $14.99. That's a recurring expense. Same thing with iTunes. Car insurance, that is a fixed expense. Same thing with our life insurance. And this ID theft. And also the credit card. So now moving on to groceries. This one, something that I did not plan on or I didn't think about really was the fact that the month of October had like an extra week. So 5 weeks. So typically for a 4-week month, I set aside $300. Well, I didn't plan on, I didn't think about October being having that extra week. So I budgeted for $300, but for 1 week, we did a no spend. We completed a no spend. So for our groceries, we set aside $75 each week. So really, I should have budgeted out $375 for our October budget. So yeah, we had gone over just a bit actually, but the no spend week really did save us. So the total amount of money that we spent for groceries this month was $310.69. So we were just over by $10.69, which it's not bad at all, I have to say. So now I'm going to go ahead and add up our actual expenses to see where we stand with our budget. Okay, so the total of my expenses came to $3,344.97. So the difference it was over budget by $15.94 for my expenses. So now on this notes area, I'm just gonna write in what I was left over with based on my particular budget. So let me zoom you out just a bit so you can see the page. For my income being $6,328.24, subtracting what I gave, and then subtracting what I spent on the fixed expenses. That leaves me with the remaining balance. I'm gonna write this in blue, and I'll write it right below here. $2,383.27 is what I had after paying all of like the very important bills, right? So with my paycheck budgets, I separate a specific amount to sinking funds. And with looking at my every dollar budget, I put in what I actually withdraw for each of these categories. So looking at that, this was what I had set aside, looking at it side by side. This is what I had budgeted for. So let's see what we actually withdrew for each of these categories. I'm just gonna write them in really quickly here and probably just skip so you can see all of the numbers. All right, so I filled in what my numbers were, and as you can see here, these three I put in less than what I had planned on budgeting for, but then this right here for pet, I went way over. So we're gonna see what the actual numbers were that I withdrew from. So 40 plus 30. All right, so the actual amount of cash that we took out was $702.75. So it was a total savings of $276.25. So that is amazing. The fact that we had $2,383 left over, so $2,383.27, and subtracting the $702 here, that still leaves us with the balance of $1,680.52, and the majority of that, it did go to car savings and also emergency fund. I didn't put anything extra to debt, so this I didn't apply anything to extra debt. But the amount of money that we put into car fund, you saw it on my every dollar. We had put in car fund $1,002.87 in the car fund. And then for our emergency fund, we put just a little bit in there for the emergency fund on the last day of the month, and I will show you really quickly right here. We put $237 in our emergency fund, and then a big chunk went into the car fund. So that is what my budget looks like, and it needs some work for the month of November. I definitely have to adjust a few things, but just looking over these numbers, what my expenses are, I see where I can adjust in the future, and there's big changes coming in November, as you saw on my November budget. I kind of broke down what we are cutting out in our sinking funds and yeah, it's gonna make a huge difference in our budget. But I'm really excited. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope it made sense on how I utilize the Every Dollar budget along with this physical budget worksheet to figure things out with how we are gonna manage our finances. So if you guys enjoyed this, make sure you give it a thumbs up. I hope you consider subscribing before you leave, and I will see you guys in a brand new video. Bye guys.